So at this point, we've finished our square. I have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. A total of 21 rows. Your square might look a little messy. It's not going to open up perfectly. Don't be scared. You're not messing up somewhere. See how mine looks like? It doesn't open into a perfect square. Well, when you take with your fingers in the one corner and in the corner across that, this is how your work is going to look like. First of all, let me say that this last stitch over here, we're ending our top part with the last row of double crochet, and we're going to cut the yarn. We're going to fasten off. So I have chained one over here, so I'm cutting my yarn and pull the loop and tighten up. So the top part is ready. So I'm closing right here. We put our fingers on the one side over here where we do the increases, and on the side right across where we do our increases. So at this point we have 3 points on our project. This is point 1. Right over here we have point 2. And on the other side over here we have point 3. So what I did is I measured my arm to see what is the total perimeter of my arm, and it came out to be a total of 37 centimeters. So when you have 37 centimeters, since I have 37 centimeters, which is I think it's called the circumference or the perimeter of the arm, I don't remember the English word. So I'm just measuring up here my arm around, and it's 37 centimeters. So what I did, since it's 37 centimeters, the front half it's supposed to be 18.5, and the back half it's supposed to be 18.5 also. So 18.5 and 18.5 is going to give me a total round of 37 centimeters, a circumference of 37 centimeters. So I'm taking my measuring tape, and from the corner from the top right corner to right over here is 18.5 centimeters. So I'm just giving my work half more centimeter, and I'm going to be making it 19, and the 19 centimeters is somewhere about here. So I'm going to count those stitches from the increase to where the 19 centimeters is, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28 stitches. So I'm going to put a stitch mark over here, and I'm going to count 28 stitches on the other side also. So because we counted 28 stitches this way, I'm going to count 28 stitches from the increase to the other side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. So I'm going to put a stitch marker on the 28th stitch. So this right here is going to be the right sleeve. And since I counted 28 stitches on the opposite side of on the other sleeve, on this corner over here, which is the other sleeve, I'm going to count 28 stitches again. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28. So I'm going to put a stitch marker on my 28th stitch, and on the opposite side of the increase I'm going to count 28 stitches again. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28. So from here and around is going to be my first sleeve, and from here and around is going to be my second sleeve. From here to here we're not going to crochet anything anymore, or on the other side of the sleeve. What we're going to be working on now is the body of our poncho. Excuse me. So what we're going to be working on now is from this stitch marker to the middle, where we're going to be working our one increase, to the other side of the stitch marker, and then in the back to the increase and to here again. So from here on, because we're working on the body of our poncho, we're going to be only making 2 increases in the front and in the back. So what we want to check is when we start from this stitch right here, from this stitch right here, this is our sleeve. So from here to the middle to the next stitch marker, we wanna this row is going to be with triple crochet, and what we want to see is when we finish the row, we need to have the stitch before the one with the stitch marker has to be a chain stitch. If it's not a chain stitch, you need to fix your stitch markers to 1 stitch to the front or 1 stitch to the back, so it comes out right. So let's start, and I'm counting. I'm gonna start my triple crochet from here, and the second stitch here and here and here, 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 here. So what I'm doing right now is I'm checking to see if my stitches are going to be correct, and right here it's coming out right. I'm gonna have my chain stitch before the last double crochet for the before the increase, and I'm gonna make a triple crochet, chain 3 triple crochet, and then I'm gonna start crocheting from the second double crochet as we were doing on the previous rows, and here, here, so it comes out right. I'm gonna have my last triple crochet on here, and I'm gonna have my chain stitch in the stitch before the one with the stitch marker. So you want to check your work. If not, if it doesn't come out right, that means that you need to move your stitch markers 1 stitch to the left or 1 stitch to the right. So I'm going to start crocheting from the one sleeve, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach my yarn. I'm going to work these 2 stitches as one. I'm going to work them together. So I'm going to put my crochet hook. This is the one sleeve over here. So I'm putting my hook in the sleeve, in the stitch with a stitch marker, and I'm gonna pull the stitch marker out, and I'm gonna put in the stitch where the second stitch marker is in, and I'm gonna take the stitch marker out. So this is the part, the space where my sleeve is going to be. So I'm going to attach my yarn, and I'm going to grab the yarn and pull it through both stitches, and I'm going to chain 1, 2, 3, 4. That counts as my first double crochet. Wrap the yarn around twice. I'm going to skip the next stitch, and I'm going to go to the stitch after that, and I'm going to make a triple crochet, and I'm going to chain 1 and make a triple crochet. Well, I'm going to skip the next stitch and make a triple crochet in the stitch after that, chain 1, skip the next stitch and make a triple crochet in the stitch after that, chain 1, skip the next stitch and make a triple crochet in the stitch after that, chain 1, skip the next stitch and make a triple crochet in the stitch after that, chain 1, skip the next stitch and make a triple crochet in the stitch after that, chain 1, skip the next stitch and make a triple crochet in the stitch after that, chain 1, skip the next stitch and make a triple crochet in the stitch after that, chain 1, skip the next stitch and make a triple crochet in the stitch after that, chain 1, skip the next stitch and make a triple crochet in the stitch after that, chain 1, skip the next stitch and make a triple crochet in the stitch after that, chain 1, skip the next stitch and make a triple crochet in the stitch after that, chain 1, skip the next stitch and make a triple crochet on the stitch after that, chain 1, skip the next stitch, chain 1, skip the next stitch and make a triple crochet in the stitch after that, chain 1, skip the next stitch, 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 chain 1, skip the next stitch. So as in the previous rows, we're going to be chaining 1, and we see that that chain 1 stands for the last double crochet for this side, and we're going to make our increase, which is going to be triple crochet, chain 3, and triple crochet in the same chain 3 space. I think I made a double crochet. Chain 1, skip the next double crochet and go to the next stitch, chain 1, skip 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 the next stitch, chain 1. So when we worked the increase was the front or the back middle of our shirt. So from this row on, we're going to be only making 2 increases in the front and in the back of our shirt. So skip the next stitch and make a triple crochet in the stitch after that, chain 1, skip the next stitch, 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 chain 1, skip the next stitch. So we're working triple crochets on every second stitch. Chain 1, skip the next stitch, chain 1, skip the next stitch, chain 1, skip the next stitch, skip the next stitch, chain 1, skip the next stitch, chain 1, skip the next stitch, chain 1, skip the next stitch. So if your row is coming out right, if you if you put your stitch markers in the right spaces, that means that the pattern is going to continue even after those stitch markers over here. So what we're going to do now is we're going to chain 1, and that chain 1 stands for this last double crochet over here. So if you're doing it right, you're supposed to have a chain 1 before that stands for the stitch before the one with the stitch marker. Excuse me. So I'm going to wrap the yarn around twice, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these two stitches together. So I'm going to close up my second sleeve. So I'm going to take my crochet hook and I'm going to put it from the back to the front on this one stitch over here with a stitch marker, and I'm going to go across to the other side, and I'm going to put my crochet hook in the stitch with the other stitch marker. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to work a triple crochet. So I'm going to take the yarn and pull it through the first stitch and through the second stitch, and I'm going to grab the yarn and pull through the first 2 loops, grab the yarn through the next 2 loops, and grab the yarn to the last 2 loops. Chain 1, wrap the yarn around twice. So this is the stitch that I just crocheted in right here. So I'm going to skip the next stitch and I'm going to go to the stitch after that and make a triple crochet, chain 1, skip the next stitch, 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 chain 1, and skip the next stitch, chain 1, skip the next stitch, chain 1, skip the next stitch, chain 1, and now we're at this spot where we're making our increase. So if you're doing it right, that chain 1 that we just did, it's supposed to be over this double crochet over here, the last stitch on this side. Now we're gonna make our increase, triple crochet, chain 3, and triple crochet in the same stitch, in the same chain 3 space. So chain 1, skip the next stitch and go to the stitch after that and make a triple crochet, chain 1, skip the next stitch. So as we did in all the previous rows with the row of triple crochet, we're making a triple crochet on every other stitch. Skip the next stitch, chain 1, 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 skip the next stitch, make a triple crochet, chain 1, chain 1. So we're almost done our row. Skip the next stitch and make a triple crochet, chain 1, chain 1, skip the next stitch, chain 1, skip the next stitch, chain 1, skip the next stitch, chain 1. So our next stitch is this stitch right here, and in the previous row this right here is not a double crochet, this is a slip stitch, so that doesn't count as a stitch. So we go in the next double crochet, and we make a triple crochet, chain 1, skip the next stitch, 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 and if your work is correct, you are going to make a slip stitch. If your work is correct, this stitch after the one that we made the triple crochet is the stitch before the one that we made our first triple crochet over here, the chain 4. So as all the other rows that we did the triple crochet when we were doing the top part, so we have a chain 1, and I'm going to slip stitch in this 4th chain. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna slip stitch right here. It's the 4th chain that I made, and I'm gonna chain 1. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a little knot over here on this yarn so it doesn't come apart until I finish. I'm gonna secure this yarn over here when I turn off my video, so my work doesn't come apart. So this is how your poncho shirt is supposed to look like at this point. Well, this is the wrong side, that's why the sleeves look a little funny. So we have our, where the stitches, we crocheted them together right here. This is the one side and this is the other side. Now from now on, the rest of the poncho shirt is going to be worked in the same exact way that we worked all the previous rows. So this is my 1 row of triple crochet. Now I'm gonna do the next 3 rows of double crochet, and we are only going to be increasing in this corner over here and in the corner behind it. So it's the front and the back. We're only going to be making 2 increases, and the rest of the rows up until you finish are going to be worked the same exact way. So this was our first row of triple crochet. Now we're going to be making 3 rows of double crochet, then a row of triple crochet, and so on until you finish, until you have the desired length of your poncho shirt. So what I want to say before I turn off my video, you don't if you'd like, you could add fringes at the end of your shirt, so make it in a length where the fringes will look right. So I'm going to be turning off my video, and I'm going to turn it back on again when I have the whole shirt finished.